This is my July trading recap. I'm Minir, also known as Ghost Trades on Twitter, and I also run Unbiased Trading, an agency where you can automate and backtest your strategy if you so desire. But let's get straight into this. So I will say for these sort of videos, in case this is your first video, it is a bit more ranty, it is a bit more just me going over performance. If you prefer value and more in-depth videos, check out some of my other videos. Otherwise, yeah, let's go through this. So first we have small caps. So if you're unaware, I trade small caps in a systematic method, but I still manually execute them for the most part. And then I have my futures trading algos, which I'll run on NinjaTrader, and those are fully automated systems, and there's around 7 of them now. I've built 10, but some of them have died and some of them have turned off and on. So most of the time that are actually running around 7 to 8. So first we'll go through my small cap trading. So this month I made around $5,284. It was an okay month. I've kind of gone into, it's definitely not drawdown because I'm still making money, but I think 3 months ago, I believe, I made around 13,000, and that felt great. And I thought that was going to continue with that kind of momentum, but realistically, no. So I've kind of dropped back down, even though I'm using higher size now, to be honest, than when I was there. There's just been a bit less opportunities, or those opportunities just haven't faded as much. For the most part, a lot of my small cap trading is shorting gappers, so anything that's above really 50 to 100%, then plus. And a lot of the time that is around open or near open. And there's just some risk management techniques that I mentioned in other videos like VWAP and things like that that I use to cut those trades early. And all of it's backed just by data. So I just pretty much follow the system. I might make a video about why I don't automate everything for small caps. There are definitely pros to it, and I've helped a lot of traders actually automate small cap systems, and those have worked very well. Just for my particular system, there's not always the time where I've wanted it to be automated, and I spend a lot more of my time automating my future sort of trading, just because I think there's higher ROI there, at least for me personally. So this is what the equity curve looks like. Oh, if you're wondering, this is all from TraderSync. That's where I upload all my trades, and they just kind of, they put it in a nice manner where you can look through them. So this is what the equity curve looks like. Overall, a bit choppy, but there wasn't just that many opportunities, to be honest. I was trading a decent amount of days, I guess. But yeah, it was just, it was an okay, okay equity curve. My biggest profit was 2,970. That pretty much made up most of this month, and that really saved this month. I think this month otherwise would have been around like a 2,000-ish month, give or take. Now, the biggest loss is something I don't like to see. This was $1,262. My risk per trade is around $900. I'm always happy to, have a couple bit of slippage, like maybe $950, something like that. But to have $1,262 as a loss was pretty alarming. The main reason for that was I got slipped on AT, I think I had it noted down here, got slipped on ZTR, and that was pretty much in the first 1 minute candle of the day. I entered and then exited. I had a limit order out or a stop order, but it got slipped, and because it was a market order, I took a decent size extra amount of loss onto it. Luckily, obviously, I didn't blow up or anything like that. I didn't hold the trade, or for whatever reason, it didn't execute, things like that. That could have been way worse. So I'm still very happy that at least I was able to get out. But yeah, still was an alarming day anyway. Then we have my win percentage, 66%. Pretty much this is actually quite typical. Based on my backtest, as I've mentioned in other videos, I'm normally aiming for around the 60 to 70. Really, anything above that is pretty high. Anything below that, then I'm a bit concerned, depending on win rate. That's most of the reason why is I use win rate, at least in this sense, to gauge as how well my predictive signal is working. Now, I'll never just base it off just 1 month or a small amount of trades. Like, in this month, I only traded like, 12 times. So I would never base off that small of a sample size. But let's say if I widen the parameters and over a quarter out of 300 200 trades it was way less than the median average, then I'd be getting a bit concerned, maybe the edge is deteriorating, for example. Then I had 3 consecutive wins, and 2 consecutive losses. Pretty standard normal things here. Nothing really outlier this month on that. I think the worst I ever had was, I think, 4 consecutive losses, and that was a couple of months ago. So happy to be kind of back within range now. As I was saying, pretty good month overall. Suffered huge slippage on AZTR. I don't know why I can't say that. And quite high low-code costs this month. I think they at around 8%, 8 or 7% of profits, I believe. Most of the time I'm hovering around 5%. The reason for that, and I know that's kind of low, I guess, for some small cap traders, is because obviously I'm based down in Dubai, and previously I was based in London. I can get locates really early in the morning. It's not hard for me to wake up or anything for that time. So most of the time I'm locating quite early. That does obviously mean sometimes I'm not using those locates at all and I waste money. But otherwise, it kind of evens out. I actually did a decent model trying to determine, should I just be locating at the time of the trigger? Should I be locating way before in the morning? And it did overall, at least from my system, make more sense to locate early in the morning and take those small amount of losses based on not using those locates, because the amount of savings on the trades where I do have locates on. So that's kind of what happened, at least for me. Then, yeah, I just stuck to the system overall. This month wasn't anything atypical, a pretty boring-ish month, I guess, for manual execution. Just stuck to the system and just kept it going. I know these videos sometimes get repetitive, but hopefully this shows you more of a realistic insight into trading. Obviously, I'm not at Lambo level or whatever yet, but a lot of it really is just doing the same shit every month. It's nothing that fancy. I'm just sitting in front of this computer, coding, taking trades or whatever. And that is pretty much most of it. Now, I guess a bit more of the exciting part is my algorithmic trading performance this month. So for 2024 July, I returned about 17.51% on capital. Now, that is pretty good. I think I've mentioned this in my previous videos, but just in case you haven't heard it, if I added $1 billion of capital to that, I don't believe I would maintain that return. That return is based on me using around 1 to 2 minis, sometimes using micros if I'm going up to 20 micros, for example, or something like that. So, as you apply more size to that, you're going to get way more slippage, and I can't be as nimble with some of these trades. So yeah, this is a great performance, at least for my capital at the moment. I will say though, a decent amount of drawdown. I had about a 12% drawdown from highs. Obviously, it didn't feel as bad because I was never negative on the month. If it was just a straight 12% down, then I would feel pretty bad. But it was just mainly I got up to about 10% and then faded back down for a bit. This was about 8 strategies running, and a lot of it, to be honest, came from a new strategy I employed on YM, and pretty much saved the month. I think I looked at all the other strategies. They did sort of all bounce later in the month, but YM pretty much carried me through with those trades. So I'll just show you the performance on that particular one of strategy. This is on NinjaTrader. You can see it made about 4,200. This is with commissions and whatever slippage was on executions of trades, things like that. So it was a pretty good performance, and really saved a lot of the month to get that 17.51% return. The only other thing I would say about this month, really, for the algorithmic side of things, is there was an insane amount of volatility. So I had a lot more trades happen this month than I was expecting to. So that did rack up commission costs a decent amount. It didn't ruin the month or anything like that, but that's something I need to be a bit more aware of. I might employ some stricter volatility measures to turn or make the parameters more strict when there's higher volatility. Just because you most of the time have more opportunities, which means you can be more fussy about what opportunities you're taking if commissions are an issue. So that's just something to me to think about. I'm not 100% sure if that's the correct line of thinking yet. I want to test it and see if that's actually true. But it's very, very hard to do, because to accurately test previously when high volatility was, and not to be like a look ahead bias to some extent, is a bit difficult. So I'm going to see what ways I'm going to go about it and kind of test for that. But overall, that was my month. A bit of a shorter video, but if you do want to find out more value and things like that, check out some of my other videos. Otherwise, I hope you had a great trading month.